Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to find volume of a cone. Cones have a circular base and a point at the opposite end. Kind of like an ice cream cone, they're just turned different ways. One thing you're going to notice that finding the volume of a cone is very similar to finding the volume of a cylinder. If you look at your formula chart, the formula for volume of a cone is V equals 1/3 big B H. So 1/3 area of the base times your height. If you notice, if we took out the 1/3, that would be the volume of a cylinder. But a cone is 1/3 area of the base times height. Well, we need to figure out, what does this area of the base mean? Well, it means the area of this circular bottom. So how do we find area of that circle? We're going to substitute that in. We're going to break down this big B formula. So I still have my 1/3 times big B, but now we need to see, how do we calculate big B? Well, area of a circle is pi r squared. And I still have to multiply it by the height. Now we're ready to substitute in our measurements. We don't know the volume, that's what we're trying to find, so that variable stays. 1/3 is a number, pi is a number, but now we can substitute in for the radius. Well, what is the radius of this figure? The diameter is 4, so the radius would be 2. Half of the diameter is a radius, so 2 squared times the height. The height here is 6 meters. All right, so now we're ready to start calculating and solving. But if you notice on 1, 2, and 3, they say leave your answer in terms of pi. That means I need this pi symbol. I need to leave it for my answer. So I'm not going to multiply by pi here. I'm going to leave it. Instead, on my calculator, I'm going to multiply 1/3 times 2 squared times 6. You can either use your calculator or you can multiply it by hand. When you multiply 1/3 times 2 squared times 6, you get 8 pi. Because remember, I had to bring down the pi. We want to leave it in our answer. So 8 pi, and it's meters cubed. The volume is always measured in cubic units, so meters cubed. So for 2 and 3, when you continue on those types of examples, you will be leaving in terms of pi. Well, now let's skip down to number 4. Number 4, if we want to find your answer to the nearest hundredth, that means I'm going to actually be multiplying out that final step. I need to include pi in my multiplication. So we're going to start out the same way again. Formula, volume equals 1/3 big B times H. Volume equals 1/3. Now you got to tell me, how do I calculate big B? So 1/3 times pi r squared times height. Now we're ready to substitute in our numbers, our measurements. I don't know the volume, so 1/3 times pi times my radius here. They tell me it's 3, so 3 squared times height. My height is 7. Now, because I need a final answer, I want to round it to the nearest hundredth. I need to multiply everything. Multiply 1/3 times pi times 3 squared times 7. And rounded to the nearest hundredth is 2 decimal places. So 60, oh, not 69, that's 65. 65 and 97 hundredths. And that is measured in feet cubed, because our measurement here is feet. So again, if you're leaving your answer in terms of pi, you're saving the pi for the answer. You don't multiply by pi. But if they want you to round to a nearest place value, then you are going to multiply by pi. Multiply everything to calculate your volume.